What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and I'm here today playing Dawn of War 2. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you guys up front. Today has been kind of a drag. Today has not been a good day. You know how sometimes you have those days where you walk in and it's sort of like that grind phase you have in those old, like, Korean MMOs. Actually, I think the Korean game companies are still making those games, but anyways, it's like once you walk into one of those and you're just like, well, there's a lot of grinding to be done today. Luckily, none of it has to do with Dawn of War, so welcome back to the Nerd Castle. And let's take a look at what we wanted to accomplish in this episode. Now, in the last episode, we have played around with Thaddeus a little bit. I do feel like I'm getting at least a tad more competent with him, but we need to collect some prime gene samples. Not prime. I don't even know what a prime is. It sounds like a prawn that's a little bit more elite than the rest of them. But anyways, let's start off with our... Oh, we've got to defend Angel Gate, too. Well, I suppose we'll do... Yeah, let's just get it all done while we're here. So let's do Killer Serpent, and I think that's going to be our endeavor for today.
A powerful Tyranid creature has been spotted, Commander. This insidious beast is an especially powerful Ravener. It has burrowed through multiple Imperial Guard outposts, wreaking havoc with morale. The beast's power means it's likely spawned from a primary hive, one that could provide us with a valuable genetic sample. Killing this Ravener will bring us one step closer to finding a primary hive.
Alright, so we've got to decide on which truce we want to deploy on this one. We have been taking Thaddeus. Let's take a look at his skills and make sure that everything... I think we have a boss fight in this one, which makes me think I should probably bring Cyrus along. I do wish that over on the right we could just drag and drop, just to avoid another tab. It's one of those little design decisions that I feel like, it might be a little bit quicker if I could just be like, boop, and there it goes. Let's see here. That's loadout, deployment. There we are. I think I'm going to take Cyrus instead of Thaddeus on this one, simply because if we have a boss fight against that Ravener, I'd like to be able to snipe the hell out of it. And Thaddeus, unfortunately, not so useful against bosses. I mean, he's alright. You can kind of bounce him around a little bit, but that's about, you get what you pay for there, and so I think I'm going to bring Cyrus along. Let's go ahead and get the mission started, because I have no clue how long this one's going to take. Now, it seems as though we're going to have a little bit of a problem in this mission, given that it does say that all of the enemies that we're going to be up against are melee masters. Now, as a secondary precaution, it did say that there's going to be a lot of turrets as well, which leads me to believe we're going to want a strong ranged presence here. The Force Commander should be able to lock everybody down and hopefully keep them in melee combat. Are we gonna get a video? Nope, no video. Alright, good. I don't have to shut up. That's one of the worst things in life is when Splattercat has to shut up, at least from my perspective, if I say so myself.
These Raveners can appear without warning.
Yeah, good. Alright, let's get into position then. I'm gonna get Tarkus in right there. We'll get Cyrus in right there. Let's get Force Commander here in the center, and then we'll get our Devastator Marines into position as quickly as possible. And once I do that, I want to make sure they tend to bum rush me really early on in these missions. So I'd like to make sure that that doesn't happen if I can at all avoid it. Force Commander. Also put some suppressing fire. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Oh, they're attacking through the wall. That's fun. Well then. I realize that that can happen in the tabletop game, but it's still a little frustrating when it happens here. Looks like we've got some more mines. Let's make sure we've got everybody up and forward. Maybe put them into, not suppression mode yet, or I'm sorry, focus fire. As for right now, I think we should be able to hold the line right here. Every single time we've done a Tyranid mission in the last 2 or 3, they've hit us very early on with a very heavy attack. The other thing is I see a Zoanthrope right there. Let me see if I can snipe it from here. There we go. We definitely want to get rid of him. In the previous missions, we have learned that they are just nasty. What are they shooting? Oh, they're losing their minds. That's right. I forgot they do that when you kill the Zoanthrope or whatever it was that's in control of them. They run around all confusey mode for a while. I'm starting to wonder if I can actually shoot over these barricades. They're shooting from there, but I feel like maybe Avitus isn't able to. Let's keep the Force Command down in here and just make sure... Let me teleport into the center there, make sure that we've got them nice and bogged down. Let me take Avitus and put him into focus fire mode so that we're dealing tons of damage. Just lots of peppering going on. We're going to pepper it like a horribly made steak. And then let's draw back just a tad to see if we can get them out of cover. Maybe consider putting Tarkus into that building right there now that it's a little bit cleared out. I would like to keep all the fire on this character though if I can. And they are flinging those little spiky spine grenade things. I looked them up, and it seems like they shoot like a cloud of barbs or something. Just something really hard to deal with. which is why they deal so much damage. Gets all up in your lungs, they fire little spines everywhere, just all around nasty. We do have some more of those little spore mines going, so I do want to back up just a moment with the Force Commander if I can. I think we're probably... Oh, there's one of them right there. Let me get rid of one of those grenade launcher guys, if at all possible. And now that he's locked down into melee, I'm going to keep an eye on his health. Oh, and they're now down. Let me run back down in here. I'm going to pop a med kit really quickly. I'll probably have my scouts fall back and in. I don't have an amazing position for my scouts as of yet, but I think I'll put them right there. So, oh no, a zone throw. Hold on. Shoot him. There we go. He's got to go like right now. Oh, and a Carnifex too. Alright, so we've got some fun coming along. The Carnifex does seem to chew up my commander fairly well. I'm going to put him into hardcore combat mode just to see if maybe... Yeah, they're going to DPS him down before anything else goes wrong. So I'm just going to have him hold that position. And then we'll have him displace and fall back. The Arms of Tantheus. That's actually really good. That's something that I want very, very much. Did we lose that other guy with Avitus? We didn't. Okay, well, let's fall back into cover here. What is that, a Ravener? Alright. Once he's regenerated back up, let me get them out of the building. And we'll get them into a better cover position. They should be able to deal a reasonable amount of damage to him. With the scouts, I'm going to allow them to hold the front right there. I'm going to have the scouts replenish as much of our support items as possible because we did have to use a lot of our items there. I did have to snipe twice. I didn't have to throw any grenades or anything like that, but I did have to snipe twice and use a med kit. So there we are. Let's move forward. Having a look around now. And maybe think about putting the scouts up in the front. It looks like they've got pretty good cover right there. But we've also got very nice cover here too, so I don't mind having a drawn-out engagement. I don't mind having a shootout as long as it's in my favor. Let's go ahead and have the Force Commander come up to the front. Let's take Cyrus, drop him into stealth. And then what we'll do is we'll have a look over here, kind of see what's laying around. Hopefully these can't see through any of our stealth, because I know some of these psychic units can just see straight through it. Or these psyker units, as they call them. Over here, we can take a Shrine to the Emperor. Oh, and we just got bum rushed from that direction. I wasn't expecting it. Let me get them back into position. And now that the Force Commander's up and ready to go... That's not what I want. Let's go ahead and buff them all up for melee. We'll keep an eye on them. God. Clearing those things off of your troops once they're actually in position already is very, very difficult. Let's drop them out of stealth. Let's take Avitus, get him back into position. We'll have him get some of his units back in just a moment. Whenever they jump over like that, there's not a ton that you can do about it, especially since I'm running a range-heavy group. If they decide to avoid the Force Commander and just jump straight the hell over, well, we just kind of have to deal with the results of that engagement. Now over here, let's come up with a plan. I haven't even looked at the map as of yet, which is something I probably should have done right when we loaded in. Looking down this way, we can wipe out this way, I think, or wipe them out this way. It looks like we've got a bunch of Tyranid structures that we have to take out. I think taking the CP in the center might... Oh, that's actually spawning them. Okay. I probably should have remembered that from previous playthroughs, but I didn't. So, we have to kind of live with that for now. Let's take him, maybe... Hey, where are you going, bud? And as soon as they wipe these out, I think we're going to do a rapid advance if we can. Actually, let's not even mess with the rapid advance. Let's go ahead and just kind of move these guys in stealth, possibly. I think they should be able to lose the aggro there, maybe. And let's just throw a bomb on that right now, since they're already sort of pinned down. I don't think they're really going to kill any of our scouts anyways. And so down it goes as it undulates, spasms, and I guess collapses to its building death. So what I'd like to do is wipe out as many enemies as possible during this run. The Tyranid structures do present a problem. That's one of the fun things about fighting the Tyranids, is that they do tend to come back. They're one of those enemies that once you've killed them once, that doesn't matter. They've got buildings and things that definitely allow them to re-engage very, very rapidly. Let's wipe out this building over here. Oh, and that's going to launch at us just a tad. Luckily, it doesn't have a whole lot of killing power, so we should be okay. And now that everybody... We don't have any cover right here, so I don't really have a choice but to draw them back to where I'm at right now. There we go. Let's get as many of those little termagants back in. And I'm actually going to run over here and try and get rid of this little mortar launcher, or at least use my squad commander as a little bit of a scout right now, just to see what's around the corner. I can teleport him out anyways, so the risk of engagement with him is not that much. He should be able to wipe this out without anything else kind of closing with us. We do have a very large structure over here that I think I would like to get rid of before I go any further. Before those pop, I'd like to teleport him out of the way, and hopefully that'll draw the remainder back and into my lines, at which point they will be splattered into gooey little bits all over the floor. Turn this into an abattoir if we can. Although not an abattoir, there has to be some definition there of abattoir. It could be an abattoir for us or an abattoir for them. I'd like to keep this as a distributed abattoir from us to them, like a Christmas gift of slaughter. Okay, and so now that we've made a beachhead right here, let's take the scouts, and I'd like to drop them into stealth, and I'd like to see what's down this way before I try and take this shrine, because I don't want to get pincered. It doesn't look like there's too much of an engagement down here for us. They are going to be spawning over here, so we might consider maybe taking these buildings out first. Let's throw a charge on that building. Ooh, a little bit of spread there. I don't like that. Hopefully it still deals damage. Okay, good. So we've dealt a little bit, but it's got so much HP that we can't wipe it out with one hit. Let's take this first. And so what I'd like to do is let's get the Force Commander in. Avitus is in the building, so let me displace him down to here. And I'm going to put them into position just in case they decide to disengage from over here and bum rush us from this direction. I'd like to pop them out of stealth and start an engagement if I can. Hopefully we don't aggro anything from over in that direction. We're able to slaughter their friends and their little... Well, I guess they're all family. I was going to say some of their selective family, but it seems like all Nids are extended family, so that might not work. And let's get down in here and start a fight. I'd like to put Avitus in right there. Let's think about maybe getting the Tackies in right there. I don't see anything else that's too terrifying off on the side. And once we've got everybody into a position that I enjoy, we'll just have them kind of lay into this building for now. Tactical Marines should probably shoot at this little kind of hive turd shooter thingy. It's firing little fart globes at me, which means I'd probably like to get rid of it. Nobody wants to smell that right now. It's already bad enough that we're on a raging battlefield. We don't have to have nasty smells to compound the issue, too. Okay, so there's a little bit more spawning, but we've got a really nice flank going right now that's pretty much going to handle them without too many problems. I'm assuming they won't get to disengage right there. That would be a little disappointing. Oh, he did make a run for it. Scouty gents, please take shots if you can. Okay, fiddle with that just a tad. Alright, good. So we've gotten rid of that structure right there, which leaves us with a reasonably safe ability to engage the remainder of the structure over here, or the remainder of the Nids over here. They are cut off right now. They're not going to be able to find themselves any reinforcement as it stands. Should I get rid of this one? I don't really want to start another fight right now. Let's do it. Oh, they're firing more hive turds at me. That's fun. Ah, there's a Ravener hiding. Sneaky, sneaky Ravener. Nope, I tried to charge, and then I forgot I don't have charge anymore. Oh, wait, I do. Well then, I'm just being an uninformed idiot right now. Let's jump down and in there. I haven't read my Codex Astartes lately. Unfortunately, I've been practicing heresy and just kind of operating outside the guidelines of the Codex. So, what can you do? Ooh, and they just got hit by one of those little mortars. Let's draw everybody back now. They don't have any more spawning locations. And let's get everybody into a nice covered position here if we can. I think they've got a nice little grouping of shooties down here. Let me bring the Force Commander forward first, just to make sure they focus on him. Maybe put some scouts in here, just to say that I did. And then maybe come in with Avitus as well. And once Avitus is in, we can actually call in an airstrike on this area. Maybe save ourselves a little bit of the time. Yeah, let's drop that right on in there and just see what that does to him. And right after that drops, we're going to advance hard. So let's advance as rapidly and as violently as we can. I'm going to put him into hardcore melee mode. Scouts can take a little bit of distance there. Let's go ahead and take Avitus, and we'll put him in focus fire just to make sure that he's killing things. but it looks like the fun has already been had. The party is already over and we're just now getting our britches off, which, that's no fun. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and capture the Imperial Shrine, just to say that we did. That should give us another charge on our Paladin bubble, or our Blessing of Fortitude. We've got a ton more resources to fall back on. What? Oh, I selected them. I was like, why are you talking right now, Cyrus? I'm having a monologue. I'm having a dialogue, and you just keep jumping in.
Field generators are deploying now, Commander.
There we go.
Additional generators will not be available until your next deployment.
Let's play around with the X key. So I guess that just makes him fall away indiscriminately, I suppose. Just kind of... Okay, cool. Well, that seems like a nice thing. If I can direct it a little bit, I'd like it more, but that's alright. I'm not going to complain about a good thing. Let's bust these boxes open just to say that we did. I doubt we're going to need the resources, but we should be alright. And I think what I'd like to do now is come down this way. We'll swoop these four. Like, we'll just kind of come down and around. I don't know if we'll get to that one. It would require me to go all the way back around that way. Might be a little boring for you guys. Let's get back in and over here, capture this other CP that I left behind. Was that the CP? Oh, it's like right next to our starting point. Well, it might be worth sending a scout around to see if we can grab it, but you don't get any tremendous bonuses for capturing the CPs, aside from being able to respawn, so I'm not super worried about it. Let's just mob our way down. Did I lose somebody? I didn't even know that I lost a Marine. That's disappointing. It looked like it was going to do a respawny thing. It showed a little number above his head. Okay, so there's another one down. Let's bring all of our tackies down in here. We'll have Avitus right there. We'll bring the scouts and the force commander down. The force commander is obviously going to get here first. Nothing to see, though. Which, for once, is a good thing. Sometimes you want to have a little bit of a breather to play with. Bad cover right here. Cover that is not going to benefit me. And I want to make sure that I'm not taking the long way around, but it looks like we've got really nice cover right there for this assault. So I am going to take this position if I can. It seems like this one is kind of a suicide run. A lot of this seems to be yellow cover, and as I say that, lots of little green dots are popping up all over the place. But the universe can't help but prove me wrong, as much as it possibly can. That's an aspect of life that you just have to learn to live with. Things like to prove Splattercat wrong. Let's advance slowly. I'd like to make sure that there's not too many mortars being blasted in. And believe it or not, this is... Oh, a Ravener. That's fun. Alright, well then. Let's have everybody fall back. And so they're going to run away if they can. And that actually worked magnificently. Did they fall back to the nearest CP? Okay, that's how it works. Alright, so now I'm square. I know how that works. They run all the way back to the nearest CP. That's a pretty hardcore retreat, but if it saves you in certain cases, I can accept it. Let's get up and in here and maybe start putting some punches on this thing. The Force Commander is remarkably good at just punching things to death. Let's go ahead and get the remainder of our forces into a superior position if we can. Force Commander is going to be able to soak a little bit of damage before they can get there. And it looks like he's killed off the high turd, but not before it blew up all of our cover. That's a little weak. We've got another Ravener over there. Let's send the Force Commander in. And what else is going to be over here? Another Zoanthrope. So let's get a sniper round on that Zoanthrope, because that little death beam laser thing that it does is absolutely painful. It is not fun to deal with. There we go. Oh, there's two. No, okay, there's another Ravener right there. Engage, brother. And then I'll have Avitus capture this, because we really don't have that much contention right here. I'm not feeling like they're putting out their A game right now. Or that, or I'm getting used to how the Tyranids work after a few episodes of an adjustment period. I don't see anything coming up behind us, which is always good. Oh, well, they're coming up from behind us from a different trajectory, so I accept that, but they're not going to make it. It's going to be quite a bit of DACA that they're going to eat there. None of this is counting as a cover spot, so let's have a look around for just a moment. We've already captured that forge. I think this is probably going to be... I mean, obviously it's going to be our last engagement, but it doesn't seem to be that dangerous. There's a lot of these little hive nodes around, but I just don't know. It might be worthwhile maybe bringing Avitus up and dropping another... We've got tons of artillery strikes, so we might consider doing that. Let's not keep people too gathered up. But let's think about maybe dropping an artillery strike right there, just to say that we did. We'll heal the Force Commander really quickly as the bombs fall. And then what we'll do is we'll bring everybody else in as well as we can for now. There's not a lot of cover, but I can live with that. They just ate one of those little spore pods. Let's go ahead and charge for that location, if indeed we can. And I want everybody... Can we destroy that with a sniper round? I think I validated this already, but I'm going to test it one more time. I've been recording in weird bursts. You know, I can. I've been recording in weird bursts lately because of my testing schedule. And now that I've fully failed and gotten that out of the way, yeah, the test was ugly, believe me. It was one of those tests where the teacher, once you get to university, you'll see, but at certain universities, you'll find that the professors just don't give a damn. Well, never mind. We win. And that's all I have to say about that. So, having completed my test, I should be able to update a little bit more frequently now.
Enemies beware, for victory is ours.
Okay, so we got ourselves remote detonation packs. Now, remote detonation packs I haven't played with a whole lot. They're basically just explosives that you can trigger whenever you want. I don't know how big the explosion is, like if it drops like a mad pie plate out there, but we'll find out in the future. I'll definitely bring it on one mission just to see what it does. Might as well continue here, and I guarantee we're probably not going to get the speed bonus, but we are going to get a pretty sizable bonus for everything else. And since we can't get any bonus deployments on this planet, not a whole lot to worry about there. In terms of loot, we've gotten the Gale of Truth, which is a storm bolter, which is really cool. I might actually try and throw that on Tarkus. I was to understand that storm bolters could only be put on Terminators. However, I'll give it a shot here in the future, and we'll see what it does. It also does scatter damage, which is like, wow. That thing should be able to unleash some hurt. We also got that super awesome Arms of Tantheus, which looks like it gives us better melee skill and some strength to our combat, or our strength combat discipline gets a +1. Does a lot of damage. It's a thunder hammer and a shield. That's going to be really good for putting on the Force Commander since we're already building him as a tank. So it seems like in this case we are starting to get some of these nice options as we move towards the mid-game.
Congratulations on your victory, Commander. You're now a step closer to obtaining the biotoxin sample we need. Angelos out.
Commander, some heartening news.
Yes, we were able to isolate the final pieces of genetic information we needed. We should be able to locate a primary hive now.
Preliminary scans show a hive on Typhon that could be an exact match. I've uploaded the hive's location to your map display.
Okay, cool. Well, I think we should probably fall back in the next episode. What happens when I click these? Oh, I get like a little planetary readout. That's pretty cool. Makes me feel very official, where I'm just like, make it so. Davian Thule. Gabriel Angelos. It's fun to say Space Marine names with just like a pretentious air about you. Let's take a look at our list here and figure out what we can do. He's not level 12 yet, which means we need to sacrifice some things to the Librarium. So let's sacrifice all of the white items right now because those are pretty much useful and they're worthless and they're never going to see the light of day. So let's get rid of them as quickly as possible. Except for the bazooka for whatever reason. I can't bring it myself to get rid of the bazooka. It's just too badass. It's a cool item and I don't want to get rid of it. I thought we had the Barding of Mars. There we go. There's the other plating. I knew we had another plating in there somewhere that needed to be gotten rid of. Let's look at Tarkus really quickly. Yeah, there it is down at the bottom. It says requires Terminator armor. So apparently I just didn't see that previously. But it's not the first time I've missed something or had an inerrancy. It happens quite frequently, actually. The armor of Vandia we can finally get rid of. I just don't think we're ever going to use it again. So there goes that. Let's have a look at the remainder of this armor. So negative combat rating. I don't see that one being very useful either, but it won't let me throw it away if I recall from previous episodes. Plus 80 health for the Shielding of Righteousness. That's a pretty good piece of equipment. Let's have a look at the Force Commander. He's using the Armor of Purity. Not going to be worthwhile, actually. However, that might be an interesting candidate for our other melee combatant. Considering he seems to die fairly quickly every time I throw him into combat, that extra 80 health might help a lot. So I'm going to put it on him for now. Also, it's got a really cool thing on the pauldron, and everybody knows that in Warhammer 40k, the bigger your pauldrons are, and the more hats you have, the more important you are. That's just hands down. Warhammer 40k, you can just stack hats on top of hats. That's all it takes. And people will just be like, well, he must be important. He's got like 50 hats on. He's also got a huge pauldron. That's just the way it works. I don't make the rules. The Blighted Power Armor, the Despair of Heretics. That's got really nice accuracy. I'd like to compare it with Avitus with what he's got. But I think I'd rather keep his range damage higher and then his movement speed up as well, considering how slow he is to begin with. So there goes that. Cyrus has now roped himself a level up. The Honor of Terra gives a lot of HP, but not going to use it. I like to have a few more bonuses than that. The Glory of Matil, a little bit of melee skill. Is that the one that I just took off of Thaddeus? I don't think so. Okay, let's move Thaddeus on up to where are his Terminator honors at? Oh, he already got them. All right. Chapter's Fury. He enters a Berserker mode. I don't know if I want to work towards that or if I want to give him a little bit more health. I think I'm going to keep working him towards the health angle just to say I did, honestly. Aegis of Fury seems like it'll be nice too because he'll be able to jump in and be like, hurt, derp, you can't hurt me, which nothing's better than that. Anybody that's played an MMO knows that being invulnerable is like the greatest thing ever when everybody else isn't. We'll get rid of the Relic Scout Armor. Down it goes. Precision of Death is now equipable, and that should increase his ability to help us in combat by quite a lot. Since he already fires really slowly anyways, the reduced rate of fire I don't think is actually going to affect his DPS output anyways, considering this one is almost like it's a big increase. It's a fairly sizable increase by comparison. The accuracy's decent on there, but he already has such amazing accuracy that I'm not really worried about it. I forget what I was working towards here. I think I was going to work towards Mark Target, so let's go towards Mark Target, and I think that's where I'm going to try and get his endgame build kind of solidified. Is there anything else that I can get rid of? The Blighted Bolter. I didn't want to use that. Can I get rid of it? No. Okay, so Blighted Gear can't be gotten rid of. That makes sense because it would be heresy, I guess, for the Librarian to disassemble it or anything of that nature, but who knows. The Abjuration of Fear. That's not that great. It gives suppression resistance and gives you a chance to recover 38 health, which is a lot when you get hit by ranged fire. Might be an interesting option for the Force Commander, simply because he takes so much ranged fire that honestly it'll probably just regenerate him like crazy and turn him into a god. I was hoping to get him leveled up before we went any further. Unfortunately, the Carapace of War, we held on to that, but I don't think we're going to use it. Oh, he's so close. I've just got to donate like one more thing. Death Touch of the Angel. Come on, there we are. So now he should be able... No, he needs Terminator armor first. That's right. I was thinking about that for just a moment. I was like, Thunder Hammer and a shield. I'm pretty sure that's a Terminator armor outlook. So we're stuck with Iron Fist for now. That's not a bad thing. I do like the Power Fist a lot, so I'm not going to bitch and moan about, holding on to it for a little bit longer. It's a badass weapon. With him, I believe I was working towards... I think I was working towards this one right here. No Mercy, No Respite. Or Respite, or however you prefer to pronounce that word. Other than that, I think we're probably in a good spot for now. Avitus can use a Stormbolter, huh? That's pretty cool. Let's continue working him on down the line. Oh, Focus Mastery actually gives everybody else Focus Fire. Well, let's keep on going with that then and give it to everybody in his squad. Now that we've done our level ups, I think I'm going to make... Well, we won't make the jump right now because then it'll do storyline, and I like to open with storyline when I do these episodes. So I will see you guys next time. My name is Splattercat. Thank you once again for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Dawn of War 2. I may be having like a rough day today, but it always brings my spirits up to provide you guys with a little bit of entertainment, and I do have fun making these videos, so it's great that you guys help me out with that. I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.